Hey, gun people. Wanted to go over, I meant to cover this in the other chalkboard series, but I kind of missed it. So, when people talk about the clock method for identifying things, this is pretty common sense, and I think most people know it, but unless you're exposed to some sort of tactics, you know, I have people here that aren't in the military and haven't been a cop, so maybe they don't know what 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, the clock system means. So, let's, so if we have a clock system here, and if this is a clock, oh shit, what am I doing here? Oh man, that didn't work. Alright, so, on a clock method, the person, the observer, is normally in the center. So, if I'm telling somebody, if I'm over here, and I'm covering this way, and I see something over here, I'm going to tell this guy at his 10 or 11 o'clock, there's a target so many meters out, or there's movement, or there's something that I can't make out. And I tell him that because I know he's facing this way, which is 12 o'clock. If I was going to tell somebody facing the same direction as me here, where that object was, it would be in this area at 7 or 8 o'clock. So since this would be our 12 o'clock where we're facing, behind us would be 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that direction would probably be 7 o'clock. So when you're describing something to somebody, and you know, the old saying, I've got your 6, or watch your 6, cover your ass, cover behind you, that's from the clock method, 12 being the front, 6 always being the rear. So if you hear people say at your 2 or at your 3 or at your 3, if we're walking, and when you're going through the academy and in the military and stuff and you learn all this, you start using it all the time. So we're walking through a mall and we see a good looking girl over here, we'll say, oh nice, look at your 2 o'clock, or look at your 9 o'clock. So, and it kind of reinforces that, so you're always working on, you're observing things from a clock method. You're always in the center, and in front of you is always 12, but if I'm telling another person, and I know they're heading in this direction, let's say they're heading north, and I know they're heading north, I'm going to say I'm coming in at your 3, and I'm going to hook up with you. I'm at the 3 of where you're at, because I know their coordinates. So they know I'm over in this area. So the clock method is used pretty frequently for most identification and police work or whatever. The front of the building, maybe 12 o'clock. Sometimes you may have to orientate a clock and say, hey, if you look at north right now at your 3 o'clock. Now you could go, if you're looking north, west would be the same, you know, east or west. If 12 is being north, then 9 o'clock would be your west, 3 o'clock would be your east, 6 o'clock would be your south. So if you're using a clock method, I guess I just wanted to cover that, and I meant to cover it on the other one. But really the purpose of this video, what I wanted to cover, is this Hillary Clinton and Petraeus deal. So I got a new holster, so I'm kind of like wearing it around, so I can, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me move this back a bit. Picked it up at the gun store. It was 20 bucks. My other leg holster wouldn't hold my Glock, so I was looking for a holster just to hold my Glock. This one holds an extra mag, and my Glock, it's got the leg. So I'm kind of wearing it around, just kind of goofing off today to see how it feels. If it twists, I'm noticing it twists a little bit back. If I sit down, it twists. But these black marks are actually rubber, and so that kind of gives it a little grippy motion so it doesn't move a lot. But anyway, that's why I've got this gun on. Somebody goes, why is he carrying a gun on his leg? So now you know. So let's talk about Clinton and Petraeus thing. Now I've already did that thing on whether or not Clinton's going to get charged or not. Left my water over here. But they just came out and they said they're about to demote, or they're threatening to demote Petraeus, 4-star general, and they're going to demote him kind of retroactive from when he retired and make him pay back the money. And I was like, what the hell is that about? So, look, Clinton is in it. She's getting a lot of heat from her email, her security things. I did the other video on should she be charged or will she be charged. Most people agree she should be, most people agree she probably won't. I've got some guys in the intelligence community that absolutely believe she's going to be charged, and I'm full of shit, and wait and see, it's coming. So we'll see, and I hope I am wrong. I hope she does get charged, but I just don't see it. However, this new development with Petraeus leads me to believe that, remember, when the government releases information, it's never for the public's benefit to help them. It's always for their benefit, to push their agenda, to distract, to mislead, to make people believe that they're smart and they're doing good things, to develop this fake trust. So anytime government puts things out, you need to look at it with a critical eye and hear it with a critical ear. What is the real purpose and why would they be doing this? So when I saw that the Pentagon releases they're about to maybe take a star from Petraeus, I'm like, what the hell? Why the hell would they do that? They're not telling us that because they're good guys. They're not telling us that because they want to keep us informed. So why are they telling us in the media that Petraeus might be in jeopardy of losing one of his stars? Now remember, he gave his girlfriend access to his computer that had classified information on it, on his computer. Wasn't near the classification that Hillary Clinton had on her server. I mean, the information that Hillary had on her servers, somebody said it was compartmentalized. I think it's SAP or SA, some sort of, it used to be the keyhole. I don't think they use the keyhole anymore. But it was it can't leave a secure metal protected room with all, it can't be anywhere but in this highly, highly secure room where no radio works, no traffic comes in and out, no digital phones don't work. I mean, this room is like very compartmentalized to hold this secret information, very secret. And it's higher than top secret. I'm just saying it's secret because it's classified. So her information that she had on her computer, much more serious than what Petraeus did by letting someone see it when she was doing a book for research. He gave her access to some information that was classified that he shouldn't have. So they made him plead guilty, they humiliated him, and they put him on notice. And when you plead guilty and you take a plea deal, I've talked about this in other videos, there's terms and conditions of that plea deal. And it can be whatever the government wants. So I am sure I did not see the plea agreement for Petraeus, but I can almost guarantee you there was things in there that was either in the official agreement or that was told him verbally. If you get this deal, you will do this, this, that, keep your mouth shut, not do this, and you won't give interviews, you won't give out information, you won't divulge other things that you knew, you won't talk about Benghazi. I think this is all related to Benghazi. So they wanted to control Petraeus because I think a stand-down order was given him to Zai. I think Petraeus knew about it and they're trying to keep him shut because the administration lied and said no, there was no stand-down order. When it backfired, all these people died. They're like, shit, if we say we let them die, we're going to look like shit. So we have to make sure and squash anybody in power that will say that there was a stand-down order. Now Hillary's on record saying there was no stand-down order. She's kind of hung her hat on that, so she can't really backtrack without looking like shit. But I don't think Petraeus has ever said there was not a stand-down order. He was kind of muffled and shut down. He was charged with a crime. They went after him and they got him to plead guilty to this plea bargain deal so they would have that hammer over his head. Remember, crooked people always like to surround themselves with more crooked people. Because when I have crooked people around me, I know their dirt. I know what I can hold over the head, and I know if they turn on me, I can sink their boat too. So therefore, I have this controlled loyalty. They're not going to turn on me because I can turn on them. Which is why I was such kind of known as a loose cannon a little bit, because I kept my shit pretty tight. I don't give a shit. You couldn't come after me. So they couldn't really control me, but the people in the inner circle and almost all police agencies, government, police, the top circle, they all have dirt on each other. Is that Moki in the back? Hi Moki, what are you doing? Moki's making a little appearance back there. So remember that you know, crooked people surround themselves with people they have dirt on. Most good people don't want crooked people around them. But when you have nothing but good people around you, they're going to hold you accountable, which is good. I like that. I like having people hold me accountable. You know, the thing they say, nothing makes a person more honest than witnesses. So this Petraeus thing was a definite kind of, I think, when they charged him, was a way to control him, saying we have you on this probation now, don't cross us, don't make us look bad, keep your mouth shut, and don't you sell us out in turn. And government is always about that control after you leave. Remember, anything government gives you, government can take away. That's why all these idiots, liberals, and everybody run around, government this, socialism this, oh, it'd be great if government gave everything free. Anything government can give you, they can take away. And they can keep. And they can put in their own pockets. And they can make, it's just a bad idea. So it's stupid. But government, when they give you pensions, like right now, I get a military pension. At any time, they can call me back to active duty because I get that pension. They can put me back on duty and they can make me come to work. If they put me back on duty, that means I fall under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which means I couldn't do half the shit I do now because I would be subject to discipline, prison, fines, reduction in grade, you know, going to jail for things because the UCMJ is very restrictive and it gives a lot of power. And there's no such thing as a fair trial or anything in the UCMJ. You're pretty much at the whim of the guys in charge. So, Petraeus retires as a 4-star general. Now they're starting to take his star, which drops his pay by, I don't know, 20 or 30 grand, maybe 70 grand a year if he loses that star in retirement. I think he gets $220 a year. If they take that star, he'll only get 170. Now, most people are going to be like, oh, big deal, that's a lot of money. Well, when you're in that much power and you're depending on that money and you probably got investments, you got that money account, whatever you make, you spend. Okay, nobody lives on, you know, as a military guy, I lived on, you know, 10, 12,000 a year and I spent all that 12,000. But just because I'm at 30, 40, 50,000 a year, I didn't live on that 12,000 anymore. You work hard, you put in your time, you get better things, you live to where you're at. So a lot of people are going to say, who cares, if getting 20 a year, that's too much, 170, screw him. But that's not the point. The point is he being held back from telling the truth? And is this a control measure? Now, this warning that they're giving Petraeus publicly, and that's exactly what this is, there's no reason in the world for the great, kind, lovable government that loves to keep the people informed, to be honest with us, would release a news report that Petraeus is in jeopardy of losing his stinking 4-star and be demoted to 3-star unless there was a purpose. So, there's 2 purposes that I got here. One is they're warning him because he's either talked to somebody, said something to somebody, has mentioned that he's going to come out and say this, and they're like, you know what, we need to make sure we know, the old thing, pull the reins in on the guy. We need to pull the reins in on this guy, make sure he knows we're still in charge. So by threatening with this, whatever they heard would make him think twice. If you mess with us, we're going to zap you, and we're going to zap you in a pocketbook, and we're going to zap your reputation, and you're going to be on the list of generals that's been demoted. So most generals have a lot of honor and a lot of pride in that, and they just don't want that on their record. They're caught up. Personally, I wouldn't give a shit. Whatever. Demote me, you piece of shit. I'd be more concerned about the money, but it ain't that damn much anyway. But anyway, so they were either warning him or they were setting up to, they want to charge Hillary for her thing, and they're saying, look, we took this really seriously. We even demoted a general for doing this. We can't possibly let Hillary get away with it. So maybe they are thinking of charging Hillary, and they're setting the stage for the sheep and the people that's not paying attention to justify it when they charge Hillary and say, look, we kind of had to do it. We did it for Petraeus. Look, we charged him. He pled guilty. Then we came back and took a star. So we couldn't let Hillary get away with it. So those are the 2 reasons I think they're talking about. They're publicly shaming Petraeus. One is control, always the key. They want to make sure they have him in control. They want to warn him, this is what's going to happen. I'm sure Hillary's been told several times, if you go against Obama, if you dog Obama too much, if you bring up Benghazi, if you try to blame anything on Obama, we're going to charge you with this confidentiality classified shit. So she's being controlled by the government. Petraeus is now being warned and controlled by the government, but I'm not sure why. Now, a lot of people out there are going to say, you know, this guy's a conspiracy theory. He always thinks something's, you know, and those are the idiots that run around life that think government has no reason to lie and they're just there to help us. So those are the idiots I don't really care about. But other people with a brain who are thinking and can rub two brain cells together that actually have a reasoning brain, I like when you guys come up with questions and kind of go, hey, what about this, or have you heard? Some people in the community, the comments is a great way to get more information out. So in the comments, give me your feedback on whether you think, I'm a conspiracy theorist and I'm crazy, or what you think the reason, what good reason could government have to suddenly share with the people that they work for poor Petraeus is going to get punished for having classified. Moki, what are you doing? Why are you hiding from Dad? All right, we'll end it there.